What is poppin' YouTube? It is your boy Jesimein. Today we have ourselves a Hexo slash Banshee mix build, man. It is a hybrid build. It's a DPS skill build, man. These are super effective. They have so much survivability and a lot of utility in the last stand and in the DZ. So without further ado, let's get into mine. As you can see, I have 5,000 firearms, 3,800 stamina, and 5,900 electronics. I don't really need high firearms because of the weapon I'm using, which is a burst fire on P5. I know everybody does not like it, but if you get really good with it, man, it's extremely effective, man. Mine is 20.2k damage, 20% crit chance, competent, deadly, and vicious. I'd rather have responsive, but competent works for now since I have the skill power to get it. Going into my chest piece is a Barrett's, nothing special, roll for firearms, health, enemy armor damage. My mask is refresh. The reason I love refresh is because it gives you so much more health when you're in low time predicament, especially like when you're in 1v1s. For the people who like that, when you pop your med kit, you get a big old giant booster critical save, so it's just a big chunk of health. When I run my booster shot, it's as if I have an overdose without the actual overdose. I'm able to pop my health all the way back to full and, you know, continue the fight from there. So always invest in a refresh mask. I love it. It's one of my favorite pieces. Going into my knee pads, I have Banshee Shadow knee pads. Yes, I can roll them towards firearms electronics since stamina is really useless, but I kind of find a little happy place with them. I like my toughness where it's at, so mine's rolled for stamina and health. If you go into my backpack, I have a specialized backpack rolled for electronics with skill power. I don't really need health since I have so much healing capabilities, so I put it all towards my skills so that I can give myself utility with all of my skills rather than just having a raw number towards that. So yeah, so going into my shadow gloves, Banshee shadow gloves, crit chance, SMG damage, and crit damage. Of course, the typical, what you want to run, especially if you're using SMGs. I don't really need Savage since I have such high crit chance as is. It's really not an issue for me not to have Savage, so I'm able to replace that with like Specialize or Refresh, so it works really good. Going into my holster, I have pretty decent rolled holster, micro rolled health higher, but it'll be pretty good. 1243, 1245, and 1259. As you guys see, that's pretty much the build in its entirety. For the people who don't know, Banshee, the two-piece bonus is pretty useless, but I'm actually just going for the 3-piece, which is 10% damage out of cover, just basically 10% damage across the board, because nobody really fights in cover, and if they do, it's for like 2 seconds, especially when you rush them. So I get this big little buff of raw damage on top of everything, especially the fact that I have competent and mixed with the ability that this gun has as far as just hitting. I'm able to conserve bullets. I don't have to spray, and I pretty much do a good job with it, man. You guys should try investing into it, learn the rhythm, and it becomes really good. For those who are worried about the fact that, you know, the RPM is fake, the RPM is fake, but if you get it consistent, you can get it close enough where the same bullets you're landing, they're landing. I mean, people are spraying hip fired anyways. You're not landing all 65 bullets anyway, so the bullets you do land, you want to make count. And with the burst fire, you're able to control that and not have to spread all your bullets out and waste them. So yeah, that's pretty much the build's gear pieces that's going to my ability, so you can see what they have. My pulse is at 30%, and you can see why that's so amazing. That is a big buff, man. That's 3 responsive buffs just off of the damage. That's why I love that I have vicious on it, because I'm able just to pump out crits all the time. Go on my booster shot. My booster shot heals me for 150,000, and if I was to get overkill, like if I wanted to be like overkill with healing, I just run overdose, 254,000 self heal. That's all my health plus refresh. So mind this, I have 150 self heal with my booster shot plus the refresh, so whatever that goes up to, that's pretty much like, I don't know, man, but that's a lot of health. That's going upwards to 200k off of my booster shot alone. So it'll probably be really good for me to run this with vigorous too, just because, you know, I'm able to get my overheal when I mix it with refresh, so it might be a pretty good little combination. So that's something I can look into. But as you guys can see, my overdose is that of a skill build. So, and you can just go across like all of my skills and see, even with DPS, they're all very they look like I'm running a skill build in some way. So that's pretty much that. For those who really want to have a build that can work all the way around, work solo, work team play, and actually put out damage, I recommend learning how to use this weapon, because it really hits extremely hard for a submachine gun, man. But let me go into my talents before I forget. As you can see, I run critical save, nothing special, strike back, on the move, and combat medic. This is like the new team's like critical save. Like, this is everything for team players. If you consider yourself a good team player, you're running this talent, you're able to save yourself med kits, because if your teammates are running it, it helps you, and same with them. And it's just a big asset when you come into DZ, when you're fighting servers or whatnot. So make sure you invest in this if you're playing team play. If you're solo, you don't really need to worry about this, it's useless. You know, invest into something else. But if you're playing team play, use combat medic, please. But yeah, that's pretty much the build, you guys. For those who've been curious, you want, you know, to mix it up. You don't want to have to run all high ends or run actual gear set, or you want just some form of hybrid. I think this is one of the best 3 pieces, because you get 10% damage if you plan on doing a hybrid, other than Predator's Mark. But I think this is a solid one. 10% damage just straight across the board, not worrying about nothing. And if you want to be able to hit hard without having high firearms, you can see this. Like, I have 5,000 firearms in my burst fires hitting for 20.2k. And if I wanted to go more glassy and I wanted to take off from my electronics and put into my firearms, I can get this thing up to like 24 and 25k. So just something to look at for those who are interested in this kind of build. Yeah, hope you guys enjoy. I will have some gameplay showcasing the MP5, and I might live stream talking about the MP5, the burst fire, some things I like to share with you guys. But yeah, that's it. Hope you guys enjoy it. Ya boy is out.